Tim Scott, the #1 black male white supremacist. Senator Tim Scott hasn't said a word, even though Donald Trump has gutted his legacy in policy. Here it is.
Did you ever think that she actually appointed you, Tim? And think of it, appointed, and you're the senator of his state, and she endorsed me. You must really hate her. No, it's a shame. It's a shame. Uh-oh.
I just love you.
No, that's why he's a great politician.
That is the most remarkable yes, a boss moment we have ever seen in the modern context. Man, flawless, sir. You would have made an excellent slave. What are the full man's? This man's a joke. Tim Scott is under fire over his silence while Donald Trump gutted federal programs that helps minority-run businesses that Tim Scott, Senator Scott, once called his legacy. For years, the South Carolina Senator Tim Scott has championed the Minority Business Development Agency, an office under the direction of the Commerce Department. Senator Scott led congressional efforts to permanently authorize the agency, expand its services into rural areas, and leverage the program to help minority-owned businesses during the COVID-19 pandemic, according to Politico. It was actually a well thought out and developing policy. I remember when they made the recommendation and then the advocacy for it to expand to rural America. Why? Because you won't find anyone poorer than black folk inside of rural communities that have access to virtually no resources. So that's the reason it was proposed. That point is important to the principle. It means you have someone or a bunch of someones looking at cause and effect, looking at what gets us to the best outcome possible for this particular group. Perfect? Hell no, not even close to being perfect, but developing, all right? Now, thanks to the Trump administration and their budget cuts, the Minority Business Development Agency, which funds grants to business owners and provides technical assistance, support, and mentorship, has lost how many? 100% of its staff. That's about 50 people in all. They have all been placed on administrative leave or transferred to other posts within the Department of Commerce. A Commerce employee and a Democratic staffer granted anonymity to discuss personnel matters told Politico. Besides the job cuts, all grants to the agency's 41 business centers were terminated. That's according to a Commerce employee. A letter sent April 17th by Dodge worker Nate Kavanaugh under the authority of Keith Sunderling, acting undersecretary of the MBDA and the current Deputy Secretary of Labor, specifically cited Trump's executive order to minimize the agency. They obliterated it. Scott, who has prioritized efforts to expand access to capital and economic mobility for minority entrepreneurs, has said nothing about the dissolution of his signature project. The senator was one of Donald Trump's most visible tap dancers during the presidential campaign and was once rumored to be a leading contender to be his vice presidential running mate, but apparently that hasn't earned him much influence with the president. Now, I remember when they floated Tim Scott could become the next vice presidential pick. No, that was before Trump won South Carolina. That was before he got all of his endorsements out of South Carolina. Once he got his endorsements out of South Carolina, Tim who? Scott might not have seen it coming. Man, you have to be, I don't like to call anybody dumb, sir. I'm a professor. But damn it, whatever word is as close as dumb as possible without saying dumb, that's what you are if you didn't see this coming. Scott may not have seen it coming. He reportedly told minority businesses he remains supportive of the program's mission, but wishes the agency would change its name, fearing it might be grouped in with DEI efforts targeted for elimination by the president, according to one of the Commerce Department employees. Sir, if a leader will get rid of an effective program because they don't like the name, why in the hell are you still supporting that leader? Though silent now, Scott was quick to defend Trump during the campaign, especially when matters of race were concerned. He said the Republican nominee was, quote, taken out of context when he accused migrants of taking Black jobs during his debate last summer against Joe Biden. Quote, I think what he meant to say was the fact that 2/3 of the jobs he created went to African Americans, Hispanics, and women, Scott said. I think we should take a whole look at the picture, and I don't think that happens. Critics have assailed Scott's silence. Scott is always the good MAGA soldier. How does he sleep at night? Asked one ex-account holder. Quote, talk is cheap, especially when your legacy gets bulldozed and you don't even flinch, added one commenter. Quote, guess silence is the new strategy. The Commerce Department employee went further, calling out Scott's cowardice. Asked to comment about the MBDA. A Scott spokesperson trumpeted the senator's record of working with Trump to deliver, quote, life-changing results for minority communities around the nation. You damn right, it's hella life-changing. We just reported on a federal worker who went to work, Black woman, put her head on her desk and died because of the stress associated with potential layoffs, her being 5 years away from retirement at an agency she's been with for over 20 years. You are right, it is life-changing. The only demographic in America where Black people are overrepresented is in one place: employment with the federal government. In every other place, Black people are underrepresented. Whatever number you choose, 14%, Black folk make up 14 to 17% of the American population, whatever number you choose. Go to the federal government, you will see that they make up 20, sometimes 20+% of the federal workforce, and some agencies are even higher than that. So what was Trump's first priority? To gut what? To gut the federal workforce. See, he can come against Black people without ever saying the word Black. Quote, their vision of America is one that follows every American, no matter their background, to have the necessary tools and resources to achieve their American dream, the spokesperson said in a statement. Quote, Senator Scott and President Trump are undoubtedly working to make sure our country works for all hardworking Americans. Stop it, I say. Senator, the man won't even take your phone call. This has to stop. It's not even about your legacy, but if your legacy causes you to advocate for a good or decent program, I'm all for it. It's really about the people who the policy supports. That's what it's about. It's never about your legacy or your ego or your leadership profile. It's about the people behind it. So the individuals you care less about. Trump, you care a lot about. This is backwards. All right, dear brother, thoughts here.
My thoughts are that I actually respect Tim Scott. Senator Tim Scott has had a very inspirational life from what he has gone through and where he has gotten to. I think that to understand him, we need to know more about his life. We need to read books like Huckleberry Finn and realize to understand this type of man, you must know historically there are two kinds of slaves, the house Negro and the field Negro. Now, the house Negro lived in the big house. He dressed pretty, he ate good, he lived good. And if the house caught fire, he'd be the first one to put the blaze out. And if the master got sick, he would say, "What's the matter, boss? We sick?" I say and say it again, you've been had, you've been took, you've been hoodwinked, bamboozled, led astray, run amok. This is what he does.
Well said, brother. Ring the ring for my dear brother Malcolm X.